Well, I never thought I'd be saying this, but here we are. Hey guys, this is Dashiell Rose here. I am back to talk about more Disney stuff. Now, I'm gonna let you guys know this is not a news-related video this time, but more so, this is me gonna be talking about Disney and all that and what their plan is. Because it clearly seems like they have no plan. But before I do that, remember guys to hit that subscribe button to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I believe that I'm at, because I forgot to look it up again, but I believe I'm at 260, I believe 68 subs, I think. So yeah, thank you guys for the support. I do really appreciate that. And now let's go ahead and talk about this. Now I want to let you guys know, for people who do not know, I was once a Disney fan. I used to love Disney. Now I wasn't obsessed with them. Some people really like Disney. Like people had tons of merchandise and everything. Which there's no problem with that. You guys can like Disney. You guys can be Disney nerds. I'm a Mario nerd. I like Mario. I may not have a lot of Mario merchandise, but I'm a Mario and Katamari nerd. And a Nickelodeon nerd. But I like Nickelodeon too. I like, Mario, Katamari, and Nickelodeon a lot. Which Mario and Katamari are games, and Nickelodeon is just a TV channel, But my point is I like things too. But there's a time where you gotta realize that you gotta admit that these companies are not the same anymore. Like Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon, although they have a lot of great shows, they're not the same company they once were. They seem to be, rebooting a lot of shows and all that. Which is not a problem. There's not a problem with rebooting shows, but they've been rebooting a lot of shows that just either just got canceled not too long ago, like the Fairly Odd Parents are still going on, like SpongeBob and The Loud House. So you gotta admit that, stuff like that, you gotta admit that they are having some problems there. But when it comes to Disney, though, my God, Disney I feel like they're in deep trouble right now. They are in deep trouble. They don't have a plan. They do not have a plan. What was their plan? It was to bring Bob Iger back, hoping they could fix the company because Bob Chapek was running the company into the ground. Now here's the thing. Bob Iger, a lot of the crap Bob Chapek has been blamed for, Bob Iger was the responsible one for that. And yeah, Bob Chapek didn't know how to run the company. He didn't know how to run it. The company itself was getting worse, under Bob Chapek. But with Bob Iger is back, and nothing is getting changed. Nothing's changing. We're still getting all these stupid live-action remakes. We just got a live-action Moana, a Moana movie, announced. Remember I told you guys that, Nickelodeon is having problems with, I could say Paramount, because Paramount owns Nickelodeon, but I think this is more of a Nickelodeon thing, but Nickelodeon's, rebooting, the Fairly Odd Parents and stuff, despite the show not being very old. They're doing the same thing with Moana. Moana is a movie that came out, I believe, back in 2016. That movie came out in 2016. It was a good movie, by the way. It was a good movie, but my point is they're making a live-action remake of it, and the movie's not very old. And that's the problem. Disney doesn't feel like they're learning. It's not just Bob Iger's fault. It's the company, the higher-ups in general. Now, there's good people working at Disney. There's good people there, at the parks and stuff, I actually feel bad for the staff at the parks, the way the guests treat the staff. Because the staff try their best and all that, but I do feel bad for the staff of the parks. But the thing is, the higher-ups, like Bob Iger and all that, there are a lot of problems that are happening here, and I feel like none of the problems are getting solved. We're still getting live-action remakes. We're getting more sequels, despite, that some of these movies don't need sequels. sequels. Like, maybe we can get a Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2 could be a sequel, because we only had one movie. But they're making a Frozen 3, they're making a Toy Story 5. Now, Toy Story 5 and and Frozen 3 could be good. But my point is they don't really need sequels to them, especially Toy Story. Especially since the last movie was absolute garbage. Like, it was garbage. And it's not really because the movie itself, like, was running out of ideas. They had a great idea bringing back Bo Peep and stuff. The problem is they didn't handle it very well. They basically wrote all the characters and made them unlikable. That's the problem. And I just don't feel like they're learning there. They're still making another Toy Story and all that. And some people are hyped for Toy Story 5. I'm not really hyped for Toy Story 5. I'm not hyped. I don't really want to see Toy Story 5, but I mean, I might see Toy Story 5 because I'm still covering Pixar, and Pixar's not dead by the time, Toy Story 5 comes out, because there's talk that that Pixar could get shut down. Yes, they could shut Pixar down. They could just merge it with Disney Animation. And I can see that happening, because Disney has no idea what they're doing with their properties either. It feels like again, Bob Iger is stubborn and hard-headed. Bob Iger can't admit when he's wrong. He can't admit whenever he's wrong. And him buying up all these properties was a horrible mistake. Pixar was fine until they ran it into the ground. Star Wars was okay, but people did. I don't feel like they had any idea what they were doing with Star Wars at all. They just bought it for the money, and not really because of the movies. They bought it because they wanted money. And I get a company needs money, but it's more. There's more to a franchise than just money. You gotta create good stuff. Otherwise, people aren't gonna watch it, and it makes it look like you don't care about the property, and that's the problem. It's like Bob Iger went on a money sprint and bought all this crap up, Fox and all of that. He put the company in debt, and he doesn't seem like he's learning anything. All he cares about is himself. He's only there to cause trouble. And there's just, it just keeps going on. Like, it's just like an endless loop of just Bob Iger just making stupid decisions and all that, and now they're being forced to buy Hulu out, which they don't have the money for, but they could get the money instead of laying off people, which, by the way, they blame Bob Chapek for laying off people, but Bob Iger's here freaking laying off thousands of people. They could easily sell off some of these properties and make money back, but they're not doing that. Because clearly they lost a lot of money when they bought Fox and stuff. They could sell it. They might not get back as much as they spent for it, because clearly $71 billion for a property like Fox was not worth it at all. I don't even think $40 billion was worth it. But they can maybe get back $40 billion. But I doubt they're gonna get back all their money when they sell Fox. But they could still sell it and get back several $1 billion, and it could save the company. The problem is they don't want to do that. They just keep trying to destroy these properties, and it's just sad. It's sad seeing a company that I once loved and adored, who made great films and animation, to this company that is just milking crap to death and just obsessed with politics and all that. Despite Michael Eisner having his problems, at least it felt like he cared about the company. Bob Iger does not care about Disney. Bob Iger only came back because he wanted to make himself look good and make Bob Chapek look like the bad guy. And the thing is, though, Bob Iger, is the responsible one for a lot of these problems Disney is having. And I don't feel like they have any plans. They're firing people, and there's talk they may fire Kathleen Kennedy, but they should freaking fire Bob Iger too. They should push him out the door as well, like they did with Bob Chapek. But I think that there's rumors that Christine McCarthy was the one who pushed Bob Chapek out the door. there's talk that she's the one who did that. But Bob Iger needs to go. He needs to go. He's the one he's destroying this company. He's freaking running it into the ground just as bad as Bob Chapek was. At least with Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek was, was basically, like, although he didn't know how to run a company, he was, like, lying to people and all that. He was actually showing Disney, not saying that's a good thing either, but showing Disney, who they really are. Bob Iger is trying to lie and try to show people that Disney is actually this great family-friendly company who cares about their employees when they clearly do not. And there's even more to this. There's even more. Not only they're walking back. They're walking back. The live action remix and all that. They keep continuing making live action remakes and all that and sequels and stuff. And they keep just destroying properties. But they're also getting fired of a lot of lawsuits too. There's a lot of lawsuits happening, and Disney doesn't really have the money to keep paying for this stuff. They don't. And the thing is, though, is they don't have the money to pay for this stuff. And the thing is, they're trying to sue DeSantis for something that they clearly started. Well, DeSantis technically in Florida was the one who started crap by getting rid of Reedon Creek. But Disney should have lost Reedon Creek to begin with, and they could have just been the bigger person and just let Reedon Creek go. But no, they had to screw over DeSantis, piss him off, and it started with this pissing match that's not ending. And now Disney's trying to sue DeSantis and all that, and I'm not sure where it went because I haven't really heard much about it for the last month, but I do know it's getting really bad with them, and people are not happy in Florida. And not to mention that their parks are being beat by Universal. Universal is kicking their ass. Universal is fucking destroying Disney right now. Universal has problems too. Like they are making a live action. They are making a live action How to Train a Dragon movie and all that, and they clearly kind of ran this new DreamWorks movie, the Kraken movie, which I forgot the name of it, into the ground and didn't really promote it at all, despite that it seemed like it could have been a decent movie. But I don't know. I mean, the thing is though, at least they're making good movies, and I hear the Kraken movie is actually pretty good. So clearly, they at least the movies are still good, while Disney is just producing horrible stuff. Which, by the way, DreamWorks and Illumination's owned by Universal, and Universal is also beating them in animation. So they're beating them in animation. They're beating them They're beating Disney at their parks and all of that. So Disney's getting at it all over the place with Universal. And other companies are coming in and destroying them too. Netflix just released the new Moana movie, which, by the way, I still need to see. I haven't seen it yet. I was going to watch the beginning of it. I watched the beginning of it because I was wanting to watch the movie. But I think it got late that one night. I think that's what it was. I can't remember why I couldn't watch it, but I was going to watch the movie, and I decided to watch it later. But the animation looked very good on it. But Disney was supposed to release Moana, but when they shut Blue Sky down, and all that, they canceled that film, and now Netflix created it. So Netflix basically created something that Disney shut down and discontinued. Despite the project being, almost complete, they discontinued it. Now, Netflix has also been canceling a lot of shows left and right. Netflix isn't doing the best either, but Netflix at least has still shows people want to watch. Like, they got the new 90s show, the spin-off of that 70s show. They got some DreamWorks original shows and all that, despite them being Universal. Universal is, like, teaming up with Netflix and all that. So, clearly, they are doing good there. And Sony's got Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man is Marvel, but Sony owns most of Spider-Man. So Sony got most of the money with the new Spider-Man movie, which, by the way, kicked Disney's ass too. So it kicked Disney's ass too in the theaters. And speaking of theaters, their movies are not doing very well either. The new Indiana Jones movie Lightyear, Strange World, and even a lot of their movies last year, like the new Ice Age movie and all that, have all done horrible. They've all done horrible. And even the new movie Elemental, I hear it's actually getting more money, but it's not making back the money that it needs to be a good property, and continue on, because when you take movies to the theaters, when companies do this, they need to make a certain amount of money back in order for it to sell well, and they're not making back the money they were hoping, instead of losing more money than gaining it. And speaking of Indiana Jones, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I believe Paramount might still own part of Indiana Jones. I'm not sure, because I saw that I didn't go to see the movie in the theaters, but I saw on YouTube that Paramount, I believe, still has its logo on there. So I believe Paramount still might own part of Indiana Jones. I keep forgetting to look that up. I'm not sure. But I keep forgetting to look that up. So I could be wrong. You guys can let me know down in the comments if you guys want. I might just look it up instead. But even then, I might not be able to find anything. Because, it's hard to find stuff on Google. Because Google, despite them having a lot of information, they clearly don't know everything like people say. But, I mean, there's a lot of, details and stuff and all that online. So they can't really know everything. But this is something I would think Google would know. But I could be wrong. But I might look that up just for the heck of it after the video is over. But yeah, I think Paramount's logo is on there. So Paramount might still own part of the Indiana Jones movies. I don't know. But the new Indiana Jones movie did worse than The Crystal Skull. And that movie was bad, I hear. I saw it years ago. I don't remember much about it, but I saw it years ago. I don't remember what I thought about it, because I remember thinking it was fine, but that was years ago, so I don't remember if the movie holds up still today, but I hear a lot of people don't like it, so I don't know. Maybe, well, I don't know, maybe it might be good, I don't know, but I heard a lot of people actually don't like it, but this new movie is doing even worse than that one. That one's making money, and some people are pointing out that the new Indiana Jones movie is making more than the original. But that's because the original came out in, I think the 80s. And that's back when money was different back then. People were not making as much money. That was a different time. So people were making, different money and stuff. So clearly, they're losing money on this, and all that. Because they should be making tons of money, but they're not. So I don't know. I don't feel like Disney really has a plan, unfortunately. I don't think they have a plan. They need to fire Bob Iger. They need to fire him. But there's rumors he may be staying longer. But there's also rumors that Bob Chapek was going to stay longer, but he got fired, so he got pushed out the door. So maybe Bob Iger will too. I don't know. But right now, with Bob Iger being in charge, I don't feel like Disney's going to get any better. I don't even know if Disney can be saved at this point, because even if they fire Bob Iger, they might hire someone else who's just as corrupted as Bob Iger to run the company. So I don't know. There's talk they may end up selling to Apple, because Apple's loaded with money, but I don't think Apple will save Disney either. I think Apple will just run Disney into the ground even more too. Because I hear Apple's woke as well, so I don't know. But they could save it, I don't know. Right now, I kind of rather Disney be sold off, honestly, to save them than just be in the state they're in right now, where they're just owned by, what they're owned by right now, by Bob Iger running it and all that, because he's running Disney into the ground. He's got multiple lawsuits. He doesn't care about the company. He has this mansion he's spending money on, because he'd rather spend money on the mansion than his new mansion than spending on the freaking Disney company itself. He has the opportunity to sell some of these properties, but he's not selling them. He's just running them into the ground even more, so they're losing money and all that, and they just have no plan. That's the problem. Disney has no plan right now. They have no plan. But yeah, they have no plan, and I feel like it's just going to keep getting worse. And And believe me, if it's worse now, it might get worse even at the end of the year, because we do have the the investor calls and all that, so I feel like it's just gonna get worse. But I don't know what to say here. I've been kind of going on this for a while now. I'm probably gonna end up letting this go. I'm probably gonna put this video in thoughts and theories though, because it's not really a news-related video, because a lot of people know Disney is struggling. But I don't know, I might put it in news-related videos too. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I'm going to go ahead and probably let things go from here. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye-bye.